Cool. Do you want me to be part of that bullshit, or do you want me to like wait until you introduce me?
That's completely up to you, dude. It doesn't matter to me.
That is the most unhelpful thing you could have
I'll
possibly said.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you now.
what's going on?
Oh, I'm just telling him how we like record the show. So
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Friend Game podcast. It is a very special episode today. If you're using your interocular eyeball examination, you will notice that there are three rectangles on the screen right now. I am Ian. Alex is here again. We don't care about him. We have a special
wow.
guest today.
So rude.
Our good friend and fellow gamer, Mr. Tyler. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, I've just been told that I'm not special here today. So
Yeah, Alex opinions don't matter.
wow.
We have Mr. Tyler on the program today because he is a. Do you have like a title,
Uh,
like the president of
uh Captain, founder, however you want to say it.
the captain slash founder slash president slash guru of the University of Wisconsin Madison Call of Duty Esports Club
You guys have like a team name?
team club? Yeah, do you have a
We
team
just
name?
we just go by Wisconsin COD.
Ah, okay, okay.
All right, sweet. President founder of Wisconsin Call of Duty. Alex and I kind of had some interest in getting into like talking about this side of esports because we had a previous episode of ours we were talking about esports as we were involved with it, but we were mostly involved with it as spectators. So
Yeah.
we thought it would be interesting to pick the brain of, get the lens of someone who actually competes in collegiate esports because that's something that neither Alex nor I have interacted with. So
Yeah.
starting off here, I guess, Tyler, if you wanted to introduce yourself a little more, like general games you like to play, what you're studying, if you want to share with that, and then kind of about the team, about the esports.
Yeah, for sure. So, just a little bit about me. My name is Tyler. I go by Puck in the Call of Duty world. I am a sophomore at the University of Wisconsin studying computer science. Some of the games I play, I mostly play sports games when I'm not playing Call of Duty. You know, like the Rocket League, the NHL, that kind of stuff. But I would say I stick to mostly Call of Duty. So that's kind of my realm of expertise.
Okay.
Wait, I guess we'll dive right into the couple of things I have written down here. The first thing that I wanted to kind of pick your brain, ask you about was what is it like being an college esports athlete and all the different things that come along with it.
Yeah, it's definitely different than being a normal athlete.
Right,
So I
because you've done
mean,
traditional sports as well in the past.
yes, I was a three sport athlete in high school, so
Ooh.
just completely different world compared to that.
I
Yeah,
bet.
how is that? How would you say are some of the differences?
It's definitely nice. I mean, in high school, obviously every sports team has coaches, so they kind of run the show and all that.
Mm.
Um, Now with this team, we're kind of on our own schedule when we want to practice, when we can schedule our games, when we want to get together. It's all kind of on our own schedule, which is super nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Is there like I know where I went to undergrad, we had like every club was kind of like run by the students, but there was always like a staff advisor. Do you have like a similar type situation, or is it just strictly run by you guys?
I would assume we have some kind of staff advisor. I'm not totally sure. So being that
You probably do, but not.
we actually yeah, we started the club outside of being officially recognized by the university. And
Oh,
Okay.
then
okay.
after after a few weeks of having the team, we were reached out to by the esports club, and then they
Oh.
said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in joining us?" So that's when we became
So there's
quote
like
unquote officially
there's a
recognized.
esports club umbrella that you guys kind of fall under.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So is there other like esports like orgs at the college then? So it's like you guys are at the Call of Duty, then there's other ones I would assume too for different games.
Yep, yep. So we have a very good Rocket League team, we have
Oh.
League of Legends team, Valorant team. Pretty much any game you can name, we probably have a team for it.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
Yeah, you
it's
guys
pretty
are
neat.
big school, so yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of different ones.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, so like determining practices and like setting up scrims and competitions and stuff is all just you guys.
Yeah, it all that was mostly my job this year, being the captain and the founders. I kind of took that upon myself to make sure we had adequate practice time, scrim time, and then the league we played in during the year was really good about if we needed to reschedule a match because of class, homework, exams, that kind of stuff. They were very good about that.
Yeah,
So
that's nice. You
it was,
guys
it
are
was
all
really nice.
students first, I would assume, so
Yeah.
they have to take that into account. That's really good.
Yep.
I'm kind of interested in as far as like the roster goes and like your teammates. Is it just like you and your buddies decided to make it, and then that's who's on the team, or do you like have tryouts or people like come and join and you decide the roster off of that, or how exactly does that work?
So it was kind of a weird situation. So I transferred to Wisconsin after my freshman year, not really knowing anybody. So I kind of put it on. I joined the esports Discord just to try to meet some people,
Mhm.
and then I heard about the Collegiate Call of Duty League, which is the league we played in, and I threw it out in the esports Discord and said, "Hey, this is who I am. I'm really interested in playing in this league. Let me know if anybody else is interested."
Oh.
So that's when I met my co-captain. He goes by Key. I'm sure he'll be listening, so shout out Key. Um, I met him through the Discord, and we just started talking and just bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other. And then that was probably a good 3 months before the season began. And then probably 2 months passed by without anything really happening. And then we kept putting it out on the Discord. Hey, we're looking for two guys. We need at least two guys to start this team. And then we got one, and then we got the other. We got MSR, and then kid who goes by Mr. Rogers Shoes. Kind of an out there name, but it worked. So we got those guys, and then we just decided to make formal tryouts because we couldn't we barely had enough
Oh.
kids to field the roster. So, which is kind of crazy out of how big Madison is that we
Mhm.
could only pull four guys for this year.
Right. Yeah.
Did I ever say how much I love living out in the country? Because I love it.
Amazing.
We're back. Sorry, there was a little
We're
bit
back.
of a
Yeah.
little bit of a connection issue there, but
Should hopefully be good now.
yeah. The audio will not be an issue because I can clearly
Right.
hear you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We should be fine.
Yeah, we should be.
So, I guess moving on to the next thing that I have here was Call of Duty like the first thing that you wanted to do, or there's like some options like why Call of Duty as like the esport of choice for you specifically?
Well, I mean, the first kind of major thing is that I play on console. I play on an Xbox. I don't play on a PC, so I'm kind of limited there with the majority of esports. I know like League of Legends, Valorant, obviously those are all PC games.
Mm.
So I'm kind of limited there. And yeah, I've always just kind of taken to Call of Duty. I started playing in the original Modern Warfare in my younger years, and
Yeah, that's where I started playing it too.
yeah,
Yep.
phenomenal game. So that's kind of where I started playing, and then as I've grown up watching professional Call of Duty, it just kind of it was always something that I was interested in.
Mhm.
And then I got to the point where I realized I was decent enough that I could maybe actually compete in it, and here we are.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was a kind of a question that I wanted to throw in too. Was that do you still keep up with watching the kind of professional scene?
I do. The professional scene just switched to a franchise league last year, so it's kind of growing. Viewership is going down, sadly, but that'll happen. It's Call of Duty. It's not League of Legends where it's huge multi-million-dollar prize pools and all that stuff.
Right.
It's still kind of growing, which is crazy for how long it's been around.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, this weekend is they called it Major 4. It's the first time Call of Duty's been back on LAN
Oh
since
yeah,
the
I'm
pandemic
sure.
started.
Ah,
So
yeah.
kind of a big deal.
Nice.
I wonder if the size of like the viewership and stuff has anything to do with like League of Legends is just like one game,
Yep.
but Call of Duty is like, well, this year we're competing in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but next year are we still doing that? Are we switching to the newest game?
I think.
Like,
Yeah.
how does that work? I'm not sure how that
Yeah.
usually goes. So
Yeah, I think.
That's always been something. Sorry, Alex. That's always been
Oh no,
something
go
we've
ahead.
struggled with as far as um, switching to a new game every year.
Mm.
It's not like Counter Strike where they're playing the same game over and over,
yeah,
the
Oh
same
yeah.
maps, all that stuff. It is a completely different game every
Mm.
year, and some games are good, some games are garbage.
Mm.
Like last year was not a good year for competitive Call of Duty because there was very little developer support for competitive, and it just overall wasn't a good year. So viewership definitely took a hit last year, but we're hoping that it'll start to turn around in the future.
something else I'll ask is, so you're talking about like some things are good, some things are bad. What are some of the things that you like about what game or is like the current one that you're competing in?
Yeah. What is the
Yeah,
current one?
so the current game is Black Ops Cold War. It came out last October, I want to say.
I think that's right.
So we're already getting to the end of this game's life cycle
Right.
and
Yeah,
preparing for
second
the new
half.
one.
Right.
Yep.
So what are some things that you like and dislike about this Call of Duty specifically, and maybe like some things you like to see for the new one as far as like competitive goes?
Yeah, so I think the big one is the developer. So I don't know how much you guys know about Call of Duty, but it's not made by the same devs every year. It
Yeah.
goes on a three dev team cycle. So there's Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer. So
Oh
it's
right.
not always the same team making the game, which certain teams like the competitive scene and certain ones don't. So like this year we have a Treyarch game in Black Ops Cold War, and Treyarch loves competitive. They're all for it. So they'll give us weapon tuning, maps, a lot of things we ask for, they will give to us. Whereas last year playing Modern Warfare, the devs of that game don't really care for competitive. So they were
Okay.
basically giving us like all the updates, all the guns, everything was tuned around Warzone, and
Oh,
they
Oh,
didn't
right.
care
Yeah.
about us at all. So it was just not a good year.
okay. Okay.
But yeah, I guess I know you asked some things that I like about this game. The gunplay is really good. The meta is really good. The maps are not horrendous, which is better than last year, which is sad that I have to say that, but that's just kind of the COD world we live in. But it's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it is much better than we have had in the past few years.
That's
So
good. Yeah, it kind of sucks that, yeah, like when you get something that's like good and like serviceable like you have now, you gotta like kind of savor it while it's here because you don't know what the next one's gonna look like. So that's kind
yeah,
of unfortunate, but
and that's the crazy part is Call of Duty has gone through so many different iterations between boots on the ground games and then like jetpack games
yeah, like Advanced
somewhere in
Warfare was the one that
between.
I remember where it was
Oh
like
yeah.
Yeah,
it's basically Halo at that point.
exactly. So we have no idea what we're getting next year. So
Mm.
I may be really good at Cold War and then be complete garbage at the game we get next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something that we have to deal with and hope that it's not terrible.
Right.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's like way more than just like, like a League of Legends patch comes out and some new champs are good and some are bad. But like
Yeah.
this is you're literally playing a new game every year. It's like actually
Yes.
kind of wild.
Was it my comparison to that would be like for something that Ian and I would know is like following the NetherRealm fighting games because we are on like a 2 to 3 year cycle with those games. So it's like
Yeah.
every 2 to 3 years we get a brand new game, new mechanics. We have to adapt essentially anytime that those
For
games
sure.
come out. So
Yeah, and
Kind
that's
of the
like
same idea.
I don't know
yeah.
if they're still gonna do the like they've been um like alternating between Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
Mm-hmm.
So even if like, oh, I'm just a NetherRealm games player, that's still like you're not playing a new Mortal Kombat every 2 years. You're just playing
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat and then Injustice, which are two different games, even though they're still fighting games by the same developer.
Yeah. But they
Yeah, but that's still less frequent than Call of Duty
yeah,
releases.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, this year it's been even crazier with the amount of metas that we've gone through, and I don't know exactly how League of Legends and that kind of stuff works, but I'm sure there's metas as to what
Hmm.
champions you use based on the patch and all that stuff, and it's kind of the same idea in Call of Duty, but we'll have, especially at the beginning of the year, guns were super overpowered. There was assault rifles that killed at short range better than submachine guns, and just ridiculous stuff like that. And like I said, it's a good thing we have good developer support this year. Otherwise, the game would be a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think at this point we've gone through 7 or 8 different metas.
Wow.
So the game is constantly changing every 2 weeks, 3 weeks when a new patch comes out, and there's nerfs, buffs, and we kind of look to, at least in the collegiate scene, we look to the pros, see what they're using, see what kind of attachments they're running, and all that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of that's a good segue into the next thing that I kind of had written down here is like more Call of Duty specific things we were going to talk about. Like, so you talked about all the different metas. What does it look like right now compared to like historically with Cold War? Like, where's the meta now, and how has it changed from the past?
Yeah, I've only
so
heard a couple of things, so it'd be nice to like hear what's going on right now.
so right now, as of right this second, the meta, depending on the team, is 2 assault rifles and 2 submachine guns. So the assault rifle meta is the Krig 6 and the AK-74U,
Mm.
and that's just kind of how it is right now. The Krig keeps getting buffed, which is kind of ridiculous because it's already overpowered the way it is. Which, don't get me wrong, I run an assault rifle, so I love it. But I will be the first person to say it is completely overpowered. It is ridiculous. It needs to get nerfed. But there was when the game first came out, the AK-47 was ridiculous. The XM4 was ridiculous. Um, I mean, the MP5 as a submachine gun could kill at long range at the same speed that an assault rifle could. So the meta right now is in a very, very good spot. The one thing that kind of stinks is that there's no snipers, which has
Oh,
been
okay.
a huge part of competitive Call of Duty for as long as I can remember.
Mm.
And then for whatever reason, this year the devs decided to give the snipers aim assist, and then smoke grenades were broken. So the pros just said, "Yep, we're not using snipers this year." So
That's just like a community thing, or is just like they're not worth using over everything else?
so the pros have what they call gentlemen's agreements, and I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know if that's a thing in many other games, but it's very prevalent in the Call of Duty scene where as pros get time to play the game and play around with the different guns, they say, okay, this gun is really overpowered. We as a league are gonna agree not to use this.
Okay, they're
Okay.
just
And
like
that kind of thing.
house bands, basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
exactly.
Yeah, I'd heard from a friend who also kind of follows the COD scene about the reason why smoke grenades are like basically banned. There was like some glitch or something going around where you could throw smoke at your feet and you could see the person, but the other like the people outside the smoke couldn't see you.
Yep. Yeah, smoke
Mm.
grenades were ridiculously broken. So they got rid of those. I believe it's been patched since then,
Mm,
but the pros have just gotten so used to not playing with them
right.
that it's just we just kind of deal with it at this point.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
interesting.
uh, there's another random question that I have to ask you. What is snaking?
So snaking is a hot topic in the COD community. Where did you hear about snaking?
My homie.
Okay. Yeah. So snaking is when you like crouch. We call them a heady or a head glitch. It's basically like when you're looking at someone and you can only see like their forehead and they're basically impossible to hit. We call that a
Oh,
heady. We call that a heady or a head glitch. So when you're
yeah.
snaking, you are bobbing your head up and down, crouching, standing up behind that head glitch, and you are basically impossible to shoot. And it is
Oh.
extremely annoying.
Oh, I see.
So there's been snaking is technically under the gentleman's agreements list,
Mm,
but it's really hard to kind of
Probably hard to
constitute what's snaking and
enforce.
what's
right.
not. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
that's interesting.
That is actually interesting.
I
It's just
remember.
it's that's one of the weird things about the Call of Duty gentlemen's agreements is like at least in that situation, like how do you ban a movement that's meant to be in the game?
Mm-hmm.
How do you
Mm-hmm.
control that? What is it? Like yeah,
Or yeah,
it's
it's hard to say like, oh, you were doing it there, and the guy could just say, no, I'm not. I was just looking over the cover. What's the big deal?
exactly
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to
exactly.
enforce. I remember, I don't know if you can still do it, but you used to be able to do that in Fortnite, where if you had an AR, it would
Yeah.
get the bonus accuracy for when you were standing still. So you would just like
Yep.
pop out, shoot, duck, pop out, shoot, duck. You just like do that repeatedly and like shoot at basically max assault rifle rate of fire, but you're like constantly bobbing up and down. I don't know if you can still do that, but it was wild when people would do that. Like get into the rhythm and just actually just never get shot and just like dink people for 70 every time.
Right.
Oh, Fortnite.
So,
What a game.
What a game. That game
but,
has changed a lot.
a follow-up question to what the meta looks like. You said it's usually the team composition is 2 assault rifles, 2 submachine guns.
Yep.
Is that because like they cover ranges for like what maps you play on better, or is that just because the weapon classes themselves are just really good? Like that's like the pattern. Why is that?
Yeah, and it's kind of map dependent.
Okay.
So I know last year in Modern Warfare, it was actually 5v5 last year. It went back to 4v4 this year.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
But
okay.
last year, map dependent, sometimes you would have 3 assault rifles and 2 submachine guns. Sometimes you would have 2 assault rifles and 3 submachine guns, or you throw a sniper in there. That kind of thing, just kind of depending on the game mode, depending on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Because some maps are long sight lines, so you want obviously an AR that can shoot further, whereas other maps are really super super close quarters, so you want that submachine gun to kill at close range.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very map dependent, and I know my team, we have like one true submachine gun and then 3 flexes. So the flexes can basically run either or and get away with it and still be good. So we kind of struggled this year with okay, who's gonna run what on what map because we can run anything,
Right.
which sounds like a good thing, but it definitely led to confusion at sometimes.
And you're
Right.
paralyzed by choice sometimes.
Exactly.
Okay, so that kind of answers what my next question written down here was like, what did your team like to do in competitions? You usually do the one person's dedicated sub, and then depending on the map, you kind of flex around what the rest of you guys do.
Yep. So we we kind of swapped midway through the season. So I started the year as a submachine gun, and then once we kind of figured out what everybody was best at, I ended up switching to an assault rifle,
Okay.
and then teammates obviously switched into my spot as a sub, and that worked out well for us. But I mean, we try to follow the pros as close as possible when it comes to okay, what kind of strats do we use? What guns are we running? What attachments are we running?
Mm.
So we try to just do what's best, and sometimes that's not what's best for us as a team, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
that
we
makes
ran
that
into some
makes
issues
sense.
there,
Yeah.
but
That's
yeah.
just like trying to copy pro players like who are playing League of Legends. Like they're just like play champions that you don't play just because they're better at the game, so they can play the harder
Yeah,
characters, kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Does are there like roles on the team? Because there's not like
yeah,
strict role. Like in League of Legends, you have the jungler and the mid laner and the top laner. And is there like a similar type system, or like in like in
yeah.
hockey,
There
you have like
is.
forwards and defenders and stuff? Is there like a similar type thing?
Yeah, so like my role on the team this year was the main AR, the main assault rifle. So my job was to basically sit back and beam as far as I can and just try to keep pressure off of my submachine guns. So then one of my teammates was like our flex or our second AR. So he was a little bit more up in the play
Mm.
and he was trying to help out the subs a little bit more. And then we have an entry sub and a Slayer sub. So the entry sub is just kind of exactly what it sounds like. He's the first guy into the fight. He, if he goes into a fight and comes out with 2 kills and then gets traded out, he did his job perfectly. If his job is to basically just get in as fast as possible and get in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Slayer sub kind of follows him up, helps him out, picks up his trades, and then hopefully gets control of everything. So it's not super defined like League of Legends is, like how you have the
Right.
jungler and the AD carry where you kind of stick to that.
Yeah.
It's more like anybody can kind of fill in where they need to, dependent on what kind of weapon they're using.
Right. It's kind of similar
That's
to
just-
like
okay.
kind of like Counter-Strike or Valorant, right? Where they fall into
Yeah.
those kind of more of those kind of roles.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like in Counter Strike, you'd have someone who's designated as your like opper, but he's like not on that 100% of the time, so he kind of
Yep.
fills in. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we didn't ask before. Is there like a game mode that the competitive scene plays, or is it like kind of rotate around? How does that work?
Yeah, so our matches are best of fives. So we play 3 different game
Ooh.
modes. So the first game mode we play is called Hardpoint, and it's basically capture King of the Hill. I can speak English, I promise. King of the Hill. Basically, there's a point on a map, like a little area that's marked off,
Mm.
and it rotates every 60 seconds, and you get points for being the only team in the hard point.
Okay.
And then you get a point every second, and then the first team to 250 wins. So we play, that's maps 1 and 4 in a series. Maps 2 and 5 are search and destroy, which is, for lack of better terms, Counter Strike.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Counter
shoot
Strike
bomb
is
sites,
one
attacks, and
long
defenders
game of
and
search
stuff.
destroy. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's search and destroy. That's maps 2 and 5, and then the third game mode is kind of game dependent. So like this year we're playing Control, which is kind of like if Hardpoint and Search and Destroy had a baby. So there's 2 hard points. There's an attacking and defending team,
Oh.
and the attacking team is trying to get into the point and lock that down, and they win by doing that.
Is that
Or
like like Overwatch's game mode?
I can't honestly say because I haven't watched that much Overwatch.
Okay. I think
Um,
Overwatch has a game mode similar to that, where there's like an A site, and then if the attacking team captures the A site, then the defending team moves back to the B site, and then the attacking team has to capture the B site, and then if they do that, then they win.
yes, that is extremely similar to what
Okay.
this is.
It's
Okay,
I think
okay.
it's pretty similar to how the Overwatch one goes. I'm not actually, I don't know what it's called, and I'm not exactly sure if that's how it goes because I haven't watched a whole lot of Overwatch either. But
Yeah,
it
I mean that
sounds like
sounds
it's similar.
that sounds pretty accurate. But yeah, that's what we're playing now. But in the past, that Hardpoint and Search and Destroy are pretty. They're always going to be played.
Mhm.
Those are just
Yeah.
kind of like the 2 staple game modes. The map 3 is always kind of up to whatever game we're playing. So like I was talking before, back in the Jetpack era, we played a game called Uplink, which is basically basketball,
Oh yeah. I do
for lack of
remember
better terms.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we basically played basketball with jetpacks, which was amazing and my favorite third game mode ever. We've played domination, which is where there's 3 flags on the map.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to capture those points. We've played straight up capture the flag before.
Oh, okay.
There's been game modes called gridiron where it's like football. So it, like I said, it kind of depends on the game and just
Yeah.
kind of whatever the pros decide is the best third game mode for that year.
Ah,
Because
okay.
every Call of Duty's got the special game modes that kind of switches as the releases go.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that
Yep.
they would try to integrate those too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite of the 3 that you're playing currently?
I really like Control. Just kind of I don't know why. I probably say that because that's my team's best game mode for the entire year was Control. So I'm kind of a little bit biased. But it's just
That was
kind of
the
it's
map
the
3
swing
one,
game
right?
mode. It can
Yeah.
decide a series. Yes. Yep, that was like the one that you compared to Overwatch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just kind of took a liking to it. We played it back in Black Ops 4 2 years ago was the first time we ever had Control. And it kind of, I don't know. I enjoyed watching it, and then now that I'm playing it, I've just kind of taken a liking to it. I don't know if I can really explain it.
No, yeah, that's fine.
I'm sure as a AR player, it's probably nice to just be able to hunker down on defense side for that too.
Exactly. I can just kind of sit back and
You just get your
just
head
shoot
and you go to
lasers.
town.
Exactly.
So I guess I meant to ask this when we were talking about the meta stuff. As far as like weapon selections go, is it like you're an AR player, so you play with like use this weapon and that's it, or is there a little bit of variety, or how does that go? Is it dependent? Like, is your league different than pro league as far as like the weapons that are used?
Nope. So we follow the same gentleman's agreements that the pros do, or at least we try to. It's really hard to enforce at our level, because we don't come up with them. So people have differing opinions on whether or not we should actually follow the gentleman's agreements.
Ah, okay.
So it kind of gets hard to keep track of who's using what's legal, what should be used, what shouldn't. As far as like weapon selection goes, it's basically whatever the meta is, and it kind of depends on your role, like you said. So like I'm on the Krig 6. That is the only gun I use for all 3 game modes. There's been other guns that have kind of been quote unquote flex guns, so somewhere in between an assault rifle and an SMG, kind of kills at range, can also kill short range. So it really just kind of depends on what your role is, but there's so many different attachments in this
I guess
game.
that's where the variance comes
So
in too. Yeah.
that's where the variance comes in. You can have speed grip where you can get to places faster, you sprint faster, or you can have a foregrip where you have less recoil on your gun, but you can't move as fast. So it really just kind of depends on your play style and kind of how you fit in to your team.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on here, something else I was kind of interested in asking is for practices. What does that look like? Do you like set aside like time to practice certain skills, or is it mostly just like playing matches and like practicing as a team, or how exactly does that go?
Yeah, so
I'm sure it depends on the team too, but I was just interested in what you guys did.
yeah, for sure. So I know for my team, when it was in season, we tried to scrimmage every night, which didn't happen because we're college students. We have different schedules, and
Right.
and that's just kind of how it is. But pretty much whenever we couldn't scrim, I know my team was shooting bots, working on their own personal skills, or there's a competitive playlist in Call of Duty called League Play. So it's specific to like the competitive rule set. So the game kind
Like
of
a ranked
restricts
queue,
what guns you can
basically?
use. Yeah, it's ranked. So that's kind of what we do when we don't feel like scrimming. But other than that, our scrimmages are usually we just kind of play every map in the map pool for each game mode. Um, Other than search and destroy, you usually have to set like separate time for search and destroy just because it's such a different game mode.
Right.
Whereas our normal scrimmages are we go through every hardpoint map and every control map, and then sometimes we'll do it twice. We'll play on each side of the map. Just kind of depends on what we agree with the other team as far as
Right.
what we want to do.
All right, sweet.
Cool.
Well, Alex, you got any other questions here? Otherwise, I'm gonna keep going on my stuff.
Nope, not really.
Okay. I was kind of interested if you guys had any like funny stories or funny things that happened during matches or scrims or anything while you guys were playing.
Yeah, so the one that really sticks out that I can remember from this year, we were scrimmaging, I believe it was Purdue. I think it was their B team. We were scrimmaging Purdue's B team, and we were playing a best of 11. So we basically go through, instead of playing like a best of 5 where it's hardpoint search control, hardpoint search, we do it in like a best of 11, but we play all 11 maps. So it's more like a match than a scrimmage.
Right.
Mhm.
It's just kind of like a match format where we're switching off the game modes.
Mm.
So we were doing that, and we were on a search and destroy, and we were playing offense. And I guess I should give a little bit more backstory. So one of the most disrespectful things you can do in Call of Duty is shooting somebody's body after you've killed them. That's just kind of
okay.
like super, super taboo. Like if you hate somebody, you're going to shoot their body. Well, so earlier in the search and destroy map, my teammate Key had 1v4'd. So the rest of my team was dead, and he killed the whole other team and decided he was going to shoot some bodies, as you do. We ended up winning that round, and then later we were on offense, had the bomb planted, and then it went down to a 1v1 between one of their players and then Key, who had been shooting bodies before. Purdue's player won it, started shooting Key's body, and didn't get back in time to defuse the bomb. So he completely choked the round because he was being toxic. And we were losing our minds. We thought that was the funniest thing ever.
That is amazing.
That's actually really funny.
That's
We
next level strats,
we
man.
talked. Yeah, it was the mind games were 5 head, but we talked to the other team's captain after that happened, and he's like, I don't know what that was, but I ripped him a new one after that. That was ridiculous. So we definitely got a lot of joy out of that. But that's the big one that sticks out.
That's a good story.
Yeah, not a whole lot of, I wouldn't say a whole lot of funny stuff happens. Just kind of, yeah, it's usually pretty basic. I mean, obviously we have fun with each other. We pick on each other a lot. The running joke on me is that I have garbage internet, which is completely true. So it's really hard to practice from home when I'm sitting here on 120 ping disconnecting every 2 minutes.
Ah, yes.
So that's that's what I get picked on of dog water internet, as the kids say.
Dog
days.
water
Dog
internet.
So,
My
dog
God.
water internet. Yeah,
Amazing.
That's awesome.
good times. Good times.
Do you have any plans to like? Is Call of Duty like the thing you're gonna stick with, or is there any other esports that you're like interested in playing? Maybe not, as competitive as you are with Call of Duty, but just like maybe on the side, like in the off season or anything.
I don't know. I've always enjoyed Rocket League, but I've never been good enough to compete in that. Kind of the same thing with NHL. I'm pretty good at that, but with being at home and having garbage internet, it's hard to really compete in anything when you
Right.
disconnect every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I feel
So it's just pain for the whole summer, if I'm being honest, because I can't really do a whole lot. But yeah, uh, I guess one thing we're looking forward to is kind of on the topic of other esports. So the Madison Esports Club does this cool thing where like clubs play against each other.
Oh,
So I know like we are going to challenge the CS:GO team
oh,
to like a head-to-head match. So like we're gonna play them in CS:GO, they're gonna play us in COD, and then like a third undecided game to kind of see who's like overall the better team.
that's
That's
actually
pretty
So
cool.
cool.
That's
we're
pretty
super
cool,
excited
actually.
for that.
Yeah,
That's a fun way to do like within the same school thing without having like an A and B
Exactly.
team. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's
That's
one thing we're definitely looking forward to.
kind of expose
my
you to that too.
yeah. Plus, yeah, you get to play other games and stuff too.
Hmm.
My college did something similar where like the basketball team would like send their best swimmer to swim against like the girls swim team, and like he would obviously just like get his he get the shit beat out of him, and then like they would do like a basketball match, like a 2v2 with like the girls swim team
Yeah,
versus the basketball players, and like that was always fun, just because everyone like obviously like yes they're like competing, but it's just like for fun mostly. So
Mhm.
that's cool
yeah.
that you guys
I
do
mean,
that
I mean, I
too.
feel I feel like it's a little bit different in esports because most of the time, if you're like really good at one game, chances are you're at least respectable at other games.
That's true,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they're
it's
like
one of those
both
things where,
shooters.
yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where like we may not play that much, but we might still be able to compete.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see.
Some of those skills still transfer over, depend like
Hmm.
because they're still in the same genre, right? So
That's
Exactly.
where the
Yeah.
undecided game comes in. It's like you play CS:GO and then Call of Duty, and then the third game's like Guitar Hero or something totally unrelated.
Yeah. Yep. Something like that.
it's gonna be League of Legends.
Right? You're gonna like
It's
like
probably gonna be League.
a random 8-bit fighting game from 1986. Like that's how you decide who the true gamers are.
Competitive Google Snake.
Oh, yo, wait. No, you should nonchalantly get people to try and play Magic the Gathering, and then just shit on everybody
Just be like,
because you know what you're doing.
guys, I heard this game was kind of fun. I've never played it before.
Yeah, Magic Arena
What's
allows you to
this?
get free decks and stuff.
What's this ninja deck you're pulling out? I don't know. I just found it.
Does everyone know you're
I
a
don't know what
Magic
you're
nerd
talking
yet?
about. No, nobody really knows I'm a Magic nerd.
Ah,
So
well.
yeah, guys, I'm a huge nerd, more than you already thought I was. But
I had to bring up Magic because up until last episode 9, I had talked about Magic the Gathering on every single podcast episode. But then I skipped one, so I had to bring it back just to, make sure I hit my
yeah,
quota.
I don't blame you. I don't consider myself much of a Magic player, but I can hold my own.
Hey, you enjoy it as kind of like a side hobby anyway, though, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I wish we got to play more, but
For sure.
that's just kind of how it is.
yeah,
So
our other man's is busy playing WoW. Sedge.
yeah,
He'll hear about this, I think.
nobody likes him. We don't talk about him.
True, actually.
But he's the reason you got into Magic.
That is true. I probably it's kind of crazy because I don't know if I'd be friends with. I mean, I met Ian through Alex, but I don't know if I would have been friends with Alex if it wasn't for Chris
Yeah.
and Magic, and just kind of happened to be working with Chris on that press that one day, and he was talking about it,
Yeah,
and I was
right?
like, "Oh, I'm interested." So
Mhm.
crazy,
Because
crazy how the world works sometimes.
we all worked at the same place, but not exactly all at the same time. Because
Yeah.
we all worked at the same place, but I never worked with Tyler because I was gone at that point.
Mhm.
Because I only worked for a summer and he wasn't there when I was there.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't go back when when Tyler was there. So
Yeah. But
So yeah,
yeah, I mean, you got any
good
decks
times,
that
good
you know
times.
you're looking at brewing in the future here, my guy? Other than
I don't
ninjas?
wanna, I don't wanna divulge my secrets.
Oh,
I
that's
might want to
unfortunate.
hit you guys with something you're not expecting.
He's gonna have a squirrel deck, dude.
Um,
Squirrel Tribal
I was thinking, pirate tribal actually, but you know,
Okay.
with the
Okay.
monkey.
I don't even know. I haven't looked into it that much. I just saw somebody say pirate tribal on the Commander subreddit one day, and I was like, huh, that seems like it'd be right up my alley.
There's a new legendary creature from Modern Horizons 2. He's a monkey pirate. And he I forget
Oh,
exactly he has the dash mechanic, so like you can play him from your hand, he attacks, and then he bounces himself to your hand, so he protects himself. And then he's a little monkey guy, so he like steals stuff from your opponents when you attack.
Yeah, I think he steals artifacts if he
that's
hits.
amazing.
He's like kind of busted actually, because then
It was
he's
kind
in red.
of
You would be mono red, but you have a bunch of like enter the battlefield effects because he just like enters, attacks, and bounces, and you could just like keep doing it.
okay. I don't know if you guys. I'm assuming you guys watched the game nights episode with
Yeah,
Post Malone.
Yeah.
No,
hell
no free
yeah.
shout
Yeah.
outs. But that watching that Post Malone's deck is like how my ninja deck should work, and it just doesn't. So I was kind of like, why does his actually work and mine doesn't do things ever other than hit face for 2 health and an island for the first 3 turns, and then is
Yeah.
useless the rest of the game?
He's also a Post Malone, so like if you they didn't pull attention to it, but he had like 2 like unsanctioned dual lands on the field at one time. So like his mana base is actually worth more than every Magic card that I own. So
Uh,
that's freaking wild.
But
Do
he
you-
but he's Post Malone, so it's
He's
okay.
yeah, I mean he can afford it. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool to see celebrities like that actually, that play
Yeah,
Magic,
'cause-
right? So,
Him and then also
Yeah.
fucking what's the other guy's name?
uh,
Cassius Marsh.
Yeah, Cassius
the,
Marsh.
the NFL
Mhm.
football player. I think he's like a D end for San Francisco
Yep.
or something. He's been on their show, like playing Magic with them several times. So
He actually has his
it-
own shop now.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
That's cool. Oh, Ian, while I
Yo.
have you here, I was gonna ask you on that Game Nights episode. I thought Black Lotus was a banned card. No, like, does that not
Um,
count?
so that's interesting because it's technically not the card Black Lotus.
It's a token.
Okay.
And so, yeah, for reference, for people that don't know, there's a new legendary creature in the most recent set that you can use in Commander. And what his ability is he's 5 colors, and you can tap him to create a token of 5 different like really popular cards from Magic's history. So there's like Shivan Dragon, which is just like a classic red dragon creature, and a bunch of other stuff. And Black Lotus is one of the cards that you can tap to create with this new legendary guy.
Mm.
And Black Lotus is hands down by far no contest the most expensive Magic card ever printed. It's like several $100,000 for a Black Lotus, and you could just like make them with this guy.
He can make one
Um,
copy per.
He can
time
make
that he's
one
cast.
yeah.
per time he's on the battlefield. So,
Which is absurd.
yeah,
Which, I mean, that's kind of why I asked, because I was super confused watching that. I was like, there is a Black Lotus where there should not be a Black Lotus. Why is this allowed?
yeah,
But that makes more sense.
yeah. It's because it comes in as a token copy, and he can only do it once per time
Yeah.
he's out on the field. So, blink
Okay.
effects allow him to tap again
Mhm.
if he blinks out and comes back in. But because he has to do it, and you're not casting it from your deck, it's okay.
Yeah, because Black
Gotcha.
Lotus is technically banned
Gotcha.
in Commander. I just double checked,
Mm.
but yeah, that's all banned and restricted rules apply during deck building. So you couldn't put a Black Lotus in your deck, but with that commander, you could make them artificially because it's part of his ability. So
Okay.
it's not as good as a normal Black Lotus because a normal Black Lotus is a permanent in your deck. So if you like play it out, sacrifice it, get the mana, then there's a Black Lotus in your graveyard. So then you could technically like, return target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield with a normal Black Lotus, but you can't do that when you make it with that creature because it's a token. So then when you play it, you get the Black Lotus token and you sacrifice it for the mana. It's just gone. It's not in your graveyard because it's a token. It just sacrifices itself.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay,
less
that
good
makes
because you
sense.
can't do some like recursion Black Lotus out of the graveyard infinite mana bullshit just because it doesn't go to your graveyard.
Some shit Chris would do.
Yeah.
Some shit Chris would do, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
You
Like
could-
it when
you could Eternal
Chris can't do
Witness.
broken shit.
You could Eternal Witness a Black Lotus over and over with Muldrotha. Yeah, no thanks.
Oh my god, please.
Yeah,
Stop
hard
giving me
hard
nightmares.
pass on that one.
So yeah, Black Lotus is banned, but that card makes it not because that's the magic the golden rule for Magic the Gathering is it like this is the rule unless it says it isn't. It's like you can only play one land a turn unless it says otherwise.
Yeah.
You can only
Unless,
attack.
yeah,
There's only one
that
attack
makes
step
sense.
unless it says otherwise. You die when you hit
That-
0
that-
health
that makes
unless it says otherwise.
Uh,
That makes much more sense.
all right.
And I like that guy's name
Cool.
is Garth.
Garth
What's
Brooks.
his name? Garth? Garth Brooks? Yeah, because he refers to him as Garth Brooks in the
Yep.
game too. That's funny as hell. That's just so weird to see Post Malone playing Magic the Gathering and
Could
Command Zone?
off the top of your mind, can you name what that one commander was? I can't even think
as
of it.
Miranda,
The really long, yeah,
Miranda Geist in the Coldakar, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
yeah,
If
that
I
one.
if I brought it up, I could read it, but as more MTG.
That was wild.
I like that they had the little segment. Was it
Yeah, where everyone tried to
Yeah,
say the
everyone
name
tried
of
to
it.
say it.
Yes, the name of the card is As Mar de Geist in a Coldakar.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's funny because
Sure.
people saw that card and they're like, "What the hell, Wizards? What are you doing? You making stuff up?" But this character is referenced literally in Alpha, the first Magic set ever printed.
Oh, really? That's funny.
This character has been in the game since then. They haven't had a card until now. But if you look up I think it's like Stone Gargoyle or something. It's a really shitty red creature from Alpha. The flavor text references this character on it. It's freaking wild. But we've been derailed for too long. Are there any other things about Call of Duty, college esports, or other bullshit that we want to talk about?
You guys got any more questions
Oh.
for me?
Actually, did you? I think I remember you mentioned to me in passing a couple like a week ago or something that your team was playing in a LAN or something.
Ah, yes. So that actually fell through, sadly.
Ah, okay.
It was basically meant to be a scrimmage day.
Mhm.
There's a PC arcade in Green Bay called Edge Gamers Lounge,
Oh,
and
okay.
apparently they run a League of Legends circuit
Mhm.
that's pretty big around here. So they're trying to start up a Call of Duty league. So we were gonna go. Basically, they were just gonna give us the space
Yeah.
to go practice on LAN, and one of the other teams had to cancel, so it got rescheduled, which was big sad because I was really looking forward to it.
That
But
is big sad.
yeah. But yeah, I definitely am really looking forward to getting to finally play on LAN because it's just a completely different world
Yeah,
compared
hopefully
to online.
things are starting to open up a little bit more now, so hopefully that can start happening pretty soon here.
Exactly.
Oh, heck yeah, man! I went to the
I'm,
arcade today and it was super busy. So
Why have we always talked about going to the arcade together so that you could kick my ass in DDR? Why has that not happened yet?
well, I mean, there's one up in Green Bay, like you said. So I mean,
Okay,
Gotta
well,
schedule
why are
that
we not
sometime.
there? Why are we not there literally right now?
We're recording on an
yeah, 'cause-
episode of
yeah.
a podcast right now.
because you're
I
our
don't know
guest
what you're
on
talking
this
about.
episode right now.
I don't know.
I have no idea what you mean by that.
Tyler, do
forgot
you have
about
any other hobbies other than playing video games that you enjoy doing, my guy?
I still enjoy sports. I mean, I still enjoy hockey, lacrosse, that kind of stuff. Obviously, it was a little different this year with that whole pandemic thing that happened.
Oh, you mean the thing
I
sticking
don't know. I don't know if
inside
you
a
guys
rink?
heard about
No.
that. Yeah.
In passing. Only for the last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. So that happened and didn't allow me to basically exist as a human outside of my apartment. So there was no club hockey, no club lacrosse, nothing this year. There was no intramurals, literally nothing. So pretty much only had video games, and thank God I had video games because,
Yeah.
whew,
I could not imagine trying to be a college student during the last like year and a half. It'd
Yeah.
be fucking wild. I'm
it
glad I
it
got done
was
with it
not
before
fun.
that.
You,
Yeah, I
On
cannot imagine.
oh,
online school is not the wave.
yeah. You know what that sounds? His experience that he's told me before during that period of time sounded like the same way of our one of our friends who like lectures, where he was telling me the same thing too, where he would literally just like roll out of bed into his chair and then just kind of like goblin in his chair while he's like lecturing a lesson.
Goblin.
Yeah, pretty
Do you
much.
not remember, dude? He
No,
showed us.
yeah.
He showed us
I
how
know,
he
yeah.
sat in his chair when we visited him. But that was hilarious.
There's days that I wouldn't even get out of bed. I would be so lazy that I would just grab my laptop, pull it into bed with me, and watch a lecture. Like that's how bad it
Man,
was.
that's bad.
It was not good.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully that's all
But
changing soon.
I hope
yeah,
so.
I'm really hoping so.
Some people just need the sort of like in person teaching. It
Yeah,
works better.
I mean, there's that aspect of it. I mean, when I transferred to Wisconsin, I was really looking forward to, doing Wisconsin stuff, like going to football games and that kind of thing.
Ah, yeah.
Obviously, that didn't all happen last year. So now that I can buy tickets on Monday morning, now it's all kind of coming becoming real, and I'm like, man, I actually feel like a Wisconsin student for the first time,
Feel like a
which
human
is a
being.
super good feeling. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Anything else you want to ask him, Ian?
No, I think talked about a lot of interesting stuff. I learned more things than I figured I was going to learn some stuff, but it was very interesting to get some insight into something I really haven't interacted with. So,
Oh heck yeah, dude. Learn more
heck
about
yeah.
him too.
hell yeah.
Tyler, you have any sort of shout outs? Where can people find you? I'll put your Twitter handle and stuff in the description below.
Yeah, I guess I'll shout out the team. I know they're gonna be listening. So, boys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I love all you guys. Thank you for getting me through the crazy year last year.
Oh yeah.
Definitely couldn't have done it without you guys. Um, Looking forward to this year. If any listeners want to tune in, you can find us on Twitter and Twitch and pretty much any socials at Wisconsin COD. We post relatively regularly when we'll be playing. So if you guys would tune in, that'd be awesome.
Nice.
Sweet. We'll throw the Wisconsin COD handles down there. We'll throw Tyler's down there alongside ours, and I'm looking. I always try to tune in when I see you streaming scrims and stuff. So I'll have to follow the Wisconsin COD one too, so I can see the actual matches.
Oh, heck
It's
yeah.
fun to
Awesome.
watch. It's fun
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah, I know there's some VODs up if you want to go watch some of our
Oh, nice.
previous matches if you want to get some experience. But
Is there
yeah.
casters?
So over the summer, my team actually played in a league without me because of me being at home and
Yeah.
on garbage internet. So I actually casted some of their matches,
Oh.
and it was not good. I was not good at it, but I did it. For our normal matches, there isn't a caster, but sometimes you can get lucky, and the league we play in, the CCL, they have an Alpha stream and a Bravo stream every week, so they'll have paid casters to cast our matches, And I mean,
Might
that
have
was
to,
a
I might,
super cool experience.
I have to look into that a little bit. I have a little bit of casting experience. I might have to hit somebody up.
Oh yeah, dude.
That would be awesome. If you want to come cast our matches, we would love that.
All right, we
If
might have to
you
talk a
can,
little bit after this.
All
we can
right.
make that happen.
Well,
All right, let's hurry up and end this freaking episode so we can talk about that
all right,
off
Mr.
screen.
Host.
So again, yeah, big shout outs to the Wisconsin COD team, and thanks to Tyler for being with us as our first guest.
I'm honored. Thank you guys so much for having me.
It was a lot of fun. If people watching enjoy this kind of thing and we want to get some other people with different backgrounds and insights on, please let us know. We're trying to cast our net out to see if there's anyone else that would be interested and have fun things to talk about. So yeah, that'll do it for us here. This has been episode 10 of the Friend Game podcast. Shout outs again, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, peace.